The global K-pop community is in turmoil as thousands of ARMY members take to the streets, social media, and online petitions to demand the exemption of BTS's golden magne, Jungkook, from South Korea's mandatory military service. This unprecedented movement has sparked intense debates about the impact of BTS on the nation's economy, culture, and global influence. South Korea requires all able-bodied men between the ages of 18 and 28 to serve in the military for approximately 18 to 21 months. While there are exemptions for elite athletes and classical musicians who have brought international recognition to the country, the entertainment industry, particularly K-pop idols, has historically been excluded from these exemptions. BTS, as the biggest boy band in the world, has already contributed significantly to South Korea's soft power, tourism, and economy. In 2020, the government revised the Military Service Act, allowing top K-pop artists, including BTS members, to defer their enlistment until the age of 30. However, full exemption was never granted. Jungkook, born in 1997, recently enlisted for his mandatory service along with fellow members RM, Jimin, and V. Despite this, a large section of the BTS fandom, known as ARMY, has launched a movement demanding that Jungkook and possibly other BTS members be fully exempted from military duty. The protests began online, with hashtags such as #FreeJungkook and #BTSDeservesExemption trending worldwide. Soon, the movement escalated into physical demonstrations in Seoul, with thousands of fans gathering outside the National Assembly building, holding banners and placards demanding the reconsideration of BTS's enlistment. Key arguments raised by ARMY include: BTS has contributed billions of dollars to South Korea's economy. A report by the Hyundai Research Institute estimated that BTS generates around $3.6 billion annually. Fans argue that forcing Jungkook and other members to serve disrupts this economic contribution. BTS has elevated South Korea's global reputation, performing at the UN, collaborating with global brands, and serving as ambassadors for campaigns like UNICEF's Love Myself. Fans argue that BTS's influence surpasses that of Olympic athletes or classical musicians who receive exemptions. Many fans view BTS as an emotional support system, and their absence has led to widespread distress among their followers worldwide. Some armies claim that the government has not fully acknowledged BTS's contributions and that the law should have been adjusted to grant them an exemption. South Korea's Ministry of National Defense and the Military Manpower Administration have repeatedly stated that BTS must fulfill their military duty, just like any other citizen. They argue that making exceptions for pop idols could create societal divisions and lead to demands from other celebrities. Despite the protests, officials maintain that military service is a sacred duty, and making exceptions based on economic contributions would undermine fairness. The government has also emphasized that BTS members voluntarily chose to serve, showcasing their dedication to their country. Opinions among experts are divided. Some economists and cultural analysts argue that BTS is a national treasure and that losing their global momentum could have long-term economic consequences. They believe South Korea should reconsider its exemption policies to align with modern soft power dynamics. On the other hand, military and political analysts argue that granting an exemption to BTS could set a dangerous precedent, leading to calls for special treatment from other industries. They emphasize that national security should always come first. The protests have gained international attention, with news outlets from the US, UK, and Japan covering ARMY's efforts. Prominent celebrities, influencers, and even politicians have commented on the issue. Some international fans have also staged protests in their own countries, showing solidarity with South Korean armies. Interestingly, Jungkook himself has remained silent on the issue. Before enlisting, he expressed gratitude to fans and promised to return stronger. Some believe that he respects the military's decision, while others think he might be avoiding controversy. Despite the protests, Jungkook is already serving his military duty, and it is unlikely that the government will reconsider. However, the movement has sparked broader discussions about South Korea's military policies, the value of cultural diplomacy, and the future of K-pop. As BTS members complete their service, fans eagerly anticipate their reunion in 2025. The protests may not change the government's decision, but they have highlighted the deep bond between BTS and ARMY, proving once again that BTS is more than just a boy band. They are a global phenomenon. Will ARMY's demands lead to future changes in South Korea's military policies? Only time will tell. Others speculate that Jungkook's silence is a strategic decision to avoid drawing further attention to the controversy. Given BTS's massive influence, any direct comment from him could escalate the situation, leading to more debates and even potential backlash. Some fans believe that he might be feeling conflicted, wanting to honor his duty as a South Korean citizen while also understanding the concerns of his supporters. Despite his silence, Jungkook's enlistment has not stopped ARMY from continuing their efforts. Online petitions calling for BTS's exemption have gained hundreds of thousands of signatures, with fans arguing that the government has failed to acknowledge the group's impact on South Korea's global reputation. The debate has also sparked discussions on social media about whether the country's military laws should be reformed to consider cultural figures like BTS. Meanwhile, South Korean politicians and military officials have reiterated that BTS's enlistment is a matter of national duty and fairness. They argue that allowing exemptions for pop stars could create division among the public and undermine the principles of mandatory military service. Some government representatives have even warned that excessive protests could have the opposite effect, making it harder for similar discussions to be taken seriously in the future. At the same time, the entertainment industry has also weighed in on the debate. Several industry experts believe that BTS's enlistment is a turning point for K-pop, as it sets a precedent for future generations of idols. They point out that while BTS's temporary absence is a significant loss, it could also reinforce the idea that even the biggest global stars are not above national obligations. Others, however, argue that BTS has already contributed more than enough to their country and should have been granted special consideration. Beyond South Korea, the issue has gained traction internationally. Media outlets across the world have covered the protests, with some analysts comparing BTS's situation to that of other global superstars who have used their influence to bring change in their respective countries. Fans from different parts of the world have also organized their own online campaigns, hoping to amplify their voices in support of Jungkook and the rest of BTS. Despite the passionate reactions from fans, it remains unlikely that the South Korean government will change its stance. Military officials have made it clear that exemptions are granted under strict criteria, and pop idols do not fall into the categories currently eligible. Unless new policies are introduced in the future, BTS members will be expected to complete their service like any other citizen. For now, ARMY continues to show their support in different ways. While some push for policy changes, others have shifted their focus to uplifting Jungkook and the other members through fan projects, letters, and online messages. Many fans believe that the best way to honor BTS's commitment is to patiently wait for their return, knowing that their time apart is temporary. As Jungkook and the rest of BTS fulfill their duties, one thing is certain: ARMY will be there every step of the way, eagerly awaiting the moment when BTS reunites and takes the stage once again. Whether or not these protests lead to long-term changes in South Korea's military policies, they have already demonstrated the unwavering dedication and influence of BTS's global fanbase. Even as the members serve their country, ARMY continues to keep BTS's legacy alive through streaming projects, charity donations, and social media campaigns. Fans are ensuring that BTS remains a dominant force in the music industry, even in their absence. Songs like Seven and Standing Next to You by Jungkook still dominate the charts, proving that their impact is far from fading. At the same time, discussions about South Korea's military policies and the role of cultural diplomacy persist. Some experts suggest that in the future, lawmakers might reconsider the criteria for exemptions, especially as K-pop's influence continues to grow globally. While it may not change in time for BTS, their situation has sparked a conversation that could shape the future of the industry. For now, ARMY remains patient, waiting for 2025, the year of BTS's long-awaited reunion. Until then, their love, support, and unwavering loyalty will continue to prove why BTS and ARMY are truly one of a kind.